scolding our children before guests. I've seen cases where some parents scold their children in front of guests, especially concerning hygiene. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In case you're new, my name is Charity Mugeni. We all know that there are no perfect mothers. We are all perfectly imperfect mothers. Regardless, motherhood is a gift from God and it's a blessing. But in our pursuit of trying to do our best for our children, in carrying out our role as mothers, sometimes there are those things that we do that might end up damaging our children's self-esteem. And most of these things we do them unconsciously, or maybe to some it might be consciously, but most of the time I can say that they're just unconscious actions. So today I'm going to look at some of those things that you might be doing as a mother, maybe with good intentions, but are likely to be damaging your child's self-esteem. Number one is disregarding their feelings. Largely, children do not know how to fully express themselves when it comes to negative emotions. Their frustrations, anger, they really do struggle to express themselves. The easiest thing that children do is to cry. And most of us, we get so much irritated in response. Sometimes we just feel like they are crying for no apparent reason. Maybe because we really can't figure out exactly why they cry. But if we only understood that that is their language at the moment, they don't have enough language or enough vocabulary to express their emotions, then that would really help us to help them walk through their negative emotions or to learn how to deal with their negative emotions. When their feelings are disregarded and we end up probably punishing them for crying instead of empathizing with them, then that makes them feel like their emotions or their feelings don't matter. And so what that does to them psychologically is that when they grow up, they become closed inside. And you find that it's so difficult for them to be expressive when it comes to their emotions, because what we have taught them is that it is wrong to express negative emotions. It's like it's wrong to be angry or it is wrong to cry. So if we would try and be understanding and look for proper responses in such occasions, it would really be helpful. Secondly, it's spanking them in public. Sometimes children can make you so uncomfortable, especially in public spaces. It could be supermarkets or in church, and they can really throw you out of balance, because sometimes they can do things that make you angry or annoyed with them. But it is not a good thing to spank our children in public when other people are watching. It is good to just pull them aside and find a place where you can spank them from. It is good to discipline children when they are stubborn in public places, but at least pull them aside and you can spank them aside where not so many people are watching, not creating a public spectacle that people start surrounding the area, they are wondering what is going on. So such kind of actions actually damage our children's self-esteem. There are some cases where I have witnessed parents just carelessly spanking their children in public because either they are crying for a toy or something, and so frustrating, I can say, because this is what it does to children. It makes them feel like they are being judged by the public. Everywhere they go, they are being judged. So they walk just being afraid of interacting with other people because they feel like they might end up doing something wrong and they are going to be judged by everyone. The third thing is scolding our children before guests. I've seen cases where some parents scold their children in front of guests, especially concerning hygiene. Maybe your child is a teenager and they are in this season where they are sweaty. Sometimes as mothers, we end up scolding our children before guests, and like we tell them to get out and go and take a bath at that time, and guests are listening to that instead of just calling them aside and telling them to go and do that. That is usually a stage where children are beginning to know themselves, and they are also struggling to accept the changes on their bodies. And so when we scold them before guests, it makes them feel like maybe there is something wrong with them, and it makes them struggle to accept themselves or to accept who they are. The fourth thing is overly criticizing them. If we overly criticize our children all the time, it makes them feel like they are never good enough, they are unworthy. It's as if they will never get to that point where they can really be good enough to us. As parents or as mothers, we have our own standards and our expectations of our children, but just to load it over them sometimes is too much. It's good for us to accept our children the way they are, and even though we might help in leading them, training them, and directing them, we should also give them some space instead of being overly criticizing and using language that puts them down. The last one is not acknowledging their accomplishments. Our children engage in so many different activities at home, at school, and the level where we get to engage with them most of the time is at home rather than at school. At school, they engage in tests. When they bring the results home, we need to acknowledge their effort, their hard work, so that they can be encouraged to keep trying and working hard and doing their best, so that they can know that getting good or getting best at what we do, it's a continuous process, is a learning process. It's not that they have to always be perfect and perform in all their tests. So we need to acknowledge them and give them this kind of encouragement that enables them to know that they are still work in progress, so that they can keep on working. And we also need to learn to acknowledge them at home in little things they do. Maybe in terms of carrying out responsibilities, a child might sweep or clean a place, get something organized, or make a toy from old things. We need to acknowledge their effort in their creative work, because those things are a sign that they are thinking and they are trying to learn how to find solutions in different areas. That is where we need to come in and just encouraging them to grow and becoming the people they are meant to become. If you're still watching this video up to this point, please just take a moment and subscribe. Give it a like. You can also give a comment in the comment section. See you in the next one. Bye bye.